So these are the places we used to use as secret escapes when we were younger. The first place was under the stairs. So the stairs was quite a novelty for a few years because we had no upstairs for a long time. So when this empty space came, we managed to fill it up with sweets, cushions, lights, fairy lights. We'd use this especially when people would come over we didn't like, our older people, visitors. Mammy's wardrobe was another thing we always used to try and escape to. When we had friends over on a Friday, we would make them climb the shelves up to the top wardrobe. Mum wouldn't know where we were gone, and we'd always get in trouble saying, "Why did you bring the neighbour's child up there? They could have got hurt."
So these are different types of dens we made at home. The first one we made ourselves, it was made out of some dining room chairs that we'd pull into the sitting room, and then we used the back of the sofa as well, and we'd just put a blanket or two over the top and try to weight it down with books or something, but it would always slip and be very difficult. But we'd prop it up and have a floor which was just made out of another blanket and some pillows, and we just hang out in there. The next one is just the sofa with some pillows propped up against it to make a tunnel, and the challenge was to get through the tunnel without knocking down any of the pillows. The last one is a pop up tent that we had that was cheese themed, and we just called it the cheese tent, and we used to spend a lot of time in there just chilling out and eating sweets.
So this is the tiny house I would make when I was younger, and I would be hanging out at my grandparents' house. I would usually make it in my aunt's room, and it was literally just a gigantic blanket draped over furniture and held down by books. And inside of the fort, I would usually have a whole bunch of pillows, or as many as I could steal from around the house without getting in trouble, the infamous lamp, my own little blanket, or Mr. Blanket as I would call it, some food. I remember ham and cheese toasties with ketchup the most, and of course any and all art supplies I could find. Usually it would be just paper and colouring pencils, but sometimes I would get a bit of modelling clay that my dad would have sent over in a package home, especially for my sister and I. And when I got a piece of that modelling clay, I was gone for days.
When my sisters and myself were small, we used to build little forts to occupy ourselves. So we used to go and rub chairs from the kitchen, and we go and rip the beds apart and pull off duvets and cushions and pillows and blankets and all sorts. And we'd bring them all into the sitting room and we'd put them together. So we'd line up the chairs and we'd drape over the duvets over the top to make a little fort. And then we'd run into Mummy, and she'd give us snacks. So she'd give us popcorn or crisps and bars and stuff. And I had a little portable DVD player at the time where I used to watch The Little House on the Prairie, and we'd sit in and chill out for the day.
When we were younger, me and my two cousins who were the same age as me and my little sister, the four of us would make blanket forts by putting a blanket over two chairs and filling it with cushions, and we would play with little Pokemon figurines or play on our Nintendos, and we also had Pokemon cards, and sometimes we had like Monster High dolls and stuff as well. But Pokemon were a big thing. We also played like Nintendogs on the Nintendo DS and used PictoChat. Also had snacks. If we were having a sleepover, we would have like midnight snacks in the blanket fort sometimes. And the chairs were old wooden ones we used to have in our kitchen, and it would be a massive blanket that would hang down the back like a cave.